reason why we should not be banning books. And around the United States, teens are picking up their things and walking out of school because a lot of school districts are starting to ban books. And in Wasilla, around a month ago now, students walked out of classrooms because they were protesting that the school districts down in Palmer and Wasilla were banning books. And they've been doing this the last couple of years. I will be arguing why we shouldn't be banning books because banning them would limit our perspective on the world and the individuals that create it. It would cause a slippery slope in our rights, just as Americans. And I also want to argue that banning books is a form of discrimination, and parents should not force people and families into banning books. My first point that I want to make is books are meant to challenge and educate people, and that is perfectly okay. That's what books are actually literally meant to do, is to challenge and educate people around the world. Another argument is banning books, which is to limit our perspective, and we just got rid of a lot of them. My opposing partner might make a claim that like we can always just have different books, but like out in the Valley they banned the Great Gatsby, and that is a very fundamental book into the education of English school districts. So what kind of education are we getting versus what are they getting? Another point that I want to make is it would just be a slippery slope into our rights. History, as we all know, tends to repeat itself. Back in World War II, Hitler did a lot of book burnings and book bans because he didn't agree with a lot of the books that were being written, and he even took it far to the point where he was burning books based on race and sexuality. And there was one of the very first book burnings took place at a gender confirmation surgery lab, and they went and burned books that had to do with stuff like that. Another point I want to make is banning books is a massive form of discrimination against the LGBTQ community. A lot of book bans have been targeted towards these people, including some of my favorite books, including The Song of Achilles and The Pythagorean, which are very primarily gay novels. And a lot of people that will ban these books make these arguments because they are based on gay stories. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
So 3 minutes starting.
Let me show the time real quick, the time that's left. All right, and you can start now.
All right. So you mentioned education and how books affect education. Can that same education not be reached online? We have, this lab showed us, we have the resources to find all the books in the library on a website we have provided by the school that we can use outside of the school and within libraries.
Right. But what happens when the school district bans those books? You wouldn't be able to access them on the internet and stuff because the school districts control our technology and what we can or cannot search up, so they could do that.
No, they don't have that power and influence to levy what books are seen on the internet.
Well,
Anybody
I think they could.
anybody can look up and find a book that they've been told about.
Well, yeah, because it's obvious that like with banning books, they do become more popular in some things because people want to read the books that are being banned, obviously. But like when it comes to school and teaching and what is being put in our libraries that some kids might not have access to, that's what's affecting.
You also mentioned the rights to physical books. Do you just believe that our rights, our what's the word? Come down to material goods that you can hold rather than see and learn from.
So, I get what you're saying, but a big part of being, I guess, an American is that we get freedom of speech and freedom of the press. And with freedom of the press and with freedom of speech, you can basically write a book about criticizing the government, and that would be okay because that's in our rights. And so banning books is just in a way taking something away.
But you can still find that book. Within the internet, you can find anything that you.
Right, but I'm saying that if the government needs to start, because this is happening, where the government is coming in and trying to take books away from Americans, and I'm saying that, I'm arguing that that's a right to do. Like,
30 seconds.
But you're arguing within the right of material goods when these material goods are not cost effective and can easily be found for free online.
It depends, because books are very
10
complex.
seconds.
I can see what that.
And let me just pause for a second. Henry just stepped in, right? No.
No.
Who is that just came in?
Oh,
And
sorry.
gave-
There's a teacher.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Keep going, sorry.
Who were the notes for?
That's time, so if the negation wants
For,
to-
okay, so that we can negotiate this, I'm sorry for the discontinuity there. You're doing an awesome job. It was for Henry and also Alyssa. So if
Oh,
you're
okay.
planning on stopping in for one of those, yeah, they're gonna be perhaps on the way, right? I assume. Okay, continue.
Alright, hello, my name is Tyler. I'm filling in for Henry, and this speech is not put together. So the right to books is not an inherent one. We all have stories that we can read and stories that we can learn from through not physical copies of these books. The libraries are dying out, and they're dying out because of the advancements of technology. The upkeep of libraries is far more expensive, costly, and detrimental to public funds than keeping up a server that holds and hosts books themselves. So the outright banning of books is not an inherently bad one. The banning of physical books is a net positive for the rise of digital stories. As well as that, online education can definitely boost the education of kids overall, especially kids who don't have the means of getting to getting their hands on physical copies of books, because books are expensive. You go to any Barnes and Nobles, that's expensive. But you don't have to buy a book online. You can just go out and find it, and it's free and easy. As my opponent brought up, the act of banning books during World War II was not an outright ban of books, it was a ban of education, which is inherently fascism, which is inherently not to what we are discussing today. I can see that.
Awesome, awesome.
Okay.
Okay, you said that, banning books is okay because we can just look them up and get them online, right?
Yes.
But if that, say, the school district decided that we're not gonna do any more physical copies of books, we're just gonna read them on a computer, or for a different book, they could also easily remove books electronically, just as they could do hard copies for books.
Those books are still online.
But like, what if they would remove them electronically?
Digital footprint is never lost, it's always there.
I'm
Is
just
there,
saying, what if though?
what if?
Yeah.
You're speaking to whataboutisms.
I know, but like, they've already been trying to do that in certain places around the country, so I'm just trying to understand, like, if we don't have hard copies of books, what makes school districts, teachers, parents, the government, people in general not to just go online and delete data of books and everything?
Well, what makes you think that are you arguing of the permanence of, books online versus the permanence of books in writing?
No, I'm just trying to say, you said that banning books physically doesn't really matter because they'll be online, but I'm trying to argue, I'm trying to ask, what if books that are electronically being
What if they're being banned online?
yeah, because that's also happening just as well as those books. So I'm just trying to understand what you're trying to say.
Use a VPN. Like,
again,
use a
you're
VPN.
trying-
Got a minute left?
Okay.
I think we're good.
Excellent.